Tomorrow is Avengers Endgame day, and I had so much fun because I get emails all the time from people where they're like, I want to hop on the call with you, we want to talk business opportunities, and I am responding to everybody with Thursday has been blacked out off my calendar because Avengers Endgame day. I kid you not, I have to drive 40 minutes to get to a theater where I was able to get seats that weren't in the front row. There's no, so everything's basically sold out except for like handicap seats. And I had to find 3 seats for me and my friends. Found a theater, it's 40 minutes away and only 1 seat. It's not in the first or second row. So it's in like the 5th row and that's mine. And my friends are getting the 2nd row. So we are going to see Endgame tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to get my videos done as per usual. But as soon as I'm done, I am out the door. Anyway, so I decided to talk about this clip. Mostly because another clip has emerged, and this one's was written about over at the Daily Wire today. Everybody's ragging on Brie Larson. I am no fan of Brie Larson. I was really shocked at how bad the Captain Marvel was. Seriously, it's man. Doctor Strange is such a good movie in my opinion. I watched it like 20 times in the first or second month that it came out. Because the first time, admittedly, I was on a plane, and so I watched it. I saw it in theaters, loved it. Then I'm on a plane, I watched it. And what ended up happening was I was on a bunch of flights, and I realized like every time I was flying, I was like, I'll watch Doctor Strange again. I'm like, man, I really do like this movie. I love the universe around it. I just like the concept of Doctor Strange. And I was never a big Doctor Strange fan before this. But then I look at how bad Captain Marvel is. I barely remember the movie. I have no intention of seeing it again. And I feel like they shoehorned Brie Larson into Avengers Endgame. Because she talks about how that was the first movie she shot. Then they did Captain Marvel. But anyway, long story short, this interview comes out. We are fighting right now. It's been an all-day thing. I'm going to start with the older interview and before we get to the new one. Because in the new interview, it's Brie Larson and Jeremy Renner. Let me just... And she makes a comment about using her celebrity for good, and Jeremy Renner says, well, I don't do that. I don't use my celebrity. I'm accountable to myself, and we'll get to this. But the point is, everybody's ragging on her for this, and I feel like because this one interview was actually kind of awkward and bad, everyone's looking for everything now. There is a phenomenon on YouTube, yes, this exists, where people pile on for the sake of, like, hitting that trend, right? They'll see a popular opinion, they'll make a video about it. There are a bunch of videos I watched that criticized Brie Larson and Captain Marvel, and they pushed way too far. And I'm like, dude, come on. I thought it was like the movie wasn't good, but some of these videos are just like really mean, over the top, and it's because people know they're going to get a lot of traffic. I'm not accusing everybody of doing this. I'm just saying these videos do happen. I'm now seeing a ton of content that's trying to make it seem like everything she's doing now, they're like nitpicking. It's like, oh, what was that? And so that sort of thing's happening with this Jeremy Renner video. That they're acting like it's a big deal when I kind of don't think it is. And in fact, Brie Larson, Hemsworth, and Don Cheadle, because this is the interview they did where they were like, we're fighting. It was kind of weird. She says, we're fighting right now. It's been an all-day thing. She does this thing with her elbows, and Don Cheadle's like, no, I told you not to touch me. And it's like a quiet thing. He doesn't like say it as a joke. Like he actually says it. It's kind of weird. Anyway, because this interview was admittedly bad, it seems like everyone's trying to act like all the interviews are bad. And I got to be honest, man. I think the celebrities are just being professional. I don't think they're publicly fighting on purpose. And a lot of people are playing that up. I think you'll notice, however, that some of the larger YouTubers who have addressed this have a more moderated opinion on this. Because you're definitely seeing a lot of people go like, oh, and they're freaking out. And they're even on the Marvel subreddit, they're debating this. It's like weird. But then I've seen like some of the bigger YouTubers who address these issues being like, it's probably not a big deal. Let's read a little bit of this. So we have these few moments, and Entertainment Tonight's, it seems like they're trying to play it up like it's a funny thing, and it's kind of not.
Competition between the different sects, the different groups.
There's no competition for me because I'm the strongest, so it's just kind of like a different.
Well, yeah, she let her think that, but yeah.
It's not. As I've said before, it's not. It's just a fact. It's not a personal opinion,
no,
and it's not a reflection on what you can't do, but it is also kind of a reflection on all that you
it's
can do.
just that your chest, you just not that strong. She's pretty smart, and but should we have a fight?
And she can eat
I
bacon
feel like we're fighting right now. I think it's been an all-day thing.
So that seemed like that seemed genuine when she said it's been an all-day thing. But there's a few, I kind of feel like some of it is they're just not good together. And I think they're trying to have like a friendly, it feels more like they're trying to put on a show like where they like, and they're not good at it. But that was weird how she said that. The most important thing out of this whole interview is the really, really weird situation where Don Cheadle mentions that she's going to come out with a bacon dispenser, and she does this really, like, whoa, it was really weird. She's like, ha, 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 bacon dispenser, that's a good, it's like, whoa, dude. I really think they don't like her. Seriously, I do. But anyway, the reason I bring this up is, admittedly, this interview that she did, it's kind of weird, right? What's the other clip that they have? Let's play this one.
Are you kidding me? It was like my first day.
No, that one's pointless. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, here it is, this one. This one where, the stunts thing, let's play this.
I did one of my stunts.
I did my stunts because I thought that that's what everyone did. And then,
Tom Cruise over here?
no, I'll be the first me, not the next Tom Cruise. Thank you very much.
Wow.
That seemed kind of weird, and she didn't do her own stunts, so people are like pointing to this interview as like a really weird thing, but let's get to the point of this video. It's really funny, because I made a bunch of videos about Captain Marvel. Why? Because I have opinions about Marvel, and I'm a big fan, and I've got, you can't really see it, but I've got, like, Magic the Gathering cards and Saitama behind me, and it's like, are people actually acting like I'm not a fan of like, comic books and gaming and stuff? I've never thought of myself as, like, a gamer, but definitely with, like, Magic the Gathering. Played it my whole life. I don't really play it anymore. But anyway, the point is, so look at this. Here's Avengers star Renner's subtle rebuke of Captain Marvel Brie Larson that set internet ablaze. They're right. It did set the internet ablaze, and I don't necessarily want to play it, but the point is, Brie Larson's asked, I don't know, something about what she does, and she says that she wants to be accountable and use her position for good. Very, very typical feminist response. And Jeremy Renner does the opposite, where he says, I'm accountable to myself, I never really use my celebrity for anything. And that's it. And they carry on, and it's very, very bland and boring. And I've seen people try to act like, oh man, Jeremy Renner's like not having it, and I'm like, what? It really just seems like another press tour video, and they're just kind of like, yep, and they're not really doing anything. It's like, imagine there's someone you don't like and you sit next to them, and you're not talking, and some people ask you questions. That's about it. I feel like people are really blowing this one up because it's lucrative, And I'm probably going to get thumbs down from people for saying that. That's just my opinion. Amid rumors circulating online that some of the Avengers stars aren't exactly happy about the polarizing off-screen antics of Brie Larson, a recent interview featuring Hawkeye actor Jeremy Renner seated next to Larson has thrown more fuel on the fire. I agree, that's true. I just don't really think anything's happening. In a moment, pointed out by a lot of folks online, including over at Bounding Into Comics and Red State, Renner makes what some fans, particularly on the right, are characterizing as a subtle rebuke of the freshman Avengers' propensity for using her Marvel role for activism. And that's possible, but I just don't really see it that way. In fact, you could even say something like this. Keanu Reeves gives back. He's famous for, like, secretly donating to hospitals and stuff. Are we going to criticize Keanu Reeves for doing that? No. I am not a fan of Brie Larson's attitude, because often they disguise their authoritarianism as activism. They say, I'm doing good. They think they're better than you and all that stuff. And that, to me, that's what Brie Larson is. But just when Jeremy Renner comes out and says what he says about, accountable to myself, I don't use my celebrity, I don't see that as him putting, jabbing at her at all. Maybe it's just his opinion. Like, it's crazy how people are trying to project their emotions onto other people. Seriously. Like, it's possible they don't like Brie Larson. She's contentious. She's been subject of much controversy. I'm not sure Jeremy Renner and anyone else really cares that much. Now, some people think we're never going to get the real opinion, and they really do hate her, and that's fine if you think that's true. I could be wrong. I just always tried to err on the side of, like, man, if I don't have proof, I'm not really into it. And I definitely see a lot of people jumping on this and acting like it's a big deal when I kind of don't see it. Another incident, So here's what was said. I'm committed to self-improvement, and I work at being the best person I can be and using this platform for as much good as I can. It doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, but I'm very comfortable with that and allowing myself to learn from those mistakes. Renner, whose body language suggested he wasn't enthusiastic about giving the interview, didn't agree on Larson's platform assertion. Yes, but it could be because I think they're in India and they're tired. And there's a million reasons why Jeremy Renner could be like, whatever, I don't know. Maybe he just finished eating, he's got a full stomach, and he's like, or maybe he's hungover. There's a million reasons. But he says, I'm pretty accountable and responsible in my own life at any rate. Celebrity isn't something that I use as any sort of platform to be more responsible or accountable, I suppose. It's certainly an absolute blessing to see the joy on kids' faces. I don't think there's a feeling that comes close to that. It's really nothing. And I feel like, you just don't fall into that tribal trap of hating on Brie Larson. There's a lot of reasons to hate Brie Larson, in my opinion. I don't really have anything against her personally. It's a professional issue. I'm sure if I met her, we'd get along just fine. And that's another warning I'll give to everybody. There have been many times in my life that I've mocked and insulted people when I was younger, and then actually had to meet them. And I'm talking about like famous people, and I feel really bad afterwards, because it's like, you know what? I think she's doing things bad professionally. I think she's the wrong choice for Captain Marvel. I'm not trying to say be disrespectful to her as a person. I think she was miscast. They needed someone taller, probably a little older, but I get why they chose her. And I think she doesn't have the right persona to be an action character like Jennifer Lawrence does. Jennifer Lawrence and Gal Gadot are absolutely fantastic. Jennifer Lawrence is amazing, and Gal Gadot was amazing as Wonder Woman. And I think she's better off as like drama. I think she did a great job in Scott Pilgrim. I love that movie. Professionally, she uses her activism, and for me, I really don't like that. But again, I'm sure if I met in person, I'm sure if any of you met her in person, you'd probably not have any issues. And a really good example of this is a video done by Sargon, which I mentioned earlier in a different video, where he's talking to this woman who's really mad at him. And it's like, look, man, I'll tell you this. We all have our differences, but when we really sit down, you probably realize that most people are going to get along and, kind of like have a little give and take, try and figure a way to work together. Long story short, because I don't want to make a 20-minute long video on this. She pushed feminism. She tried injecting politics into the MCU, which she did. I didn't like it. Her movie wasn't that good. I don't blame her for the movie being bad. I'm surprised it was as bad as it was because it was a Marvel film. But seriously, man, there are people who are like, progressives are pointing the finger at me, being like, Tim didn't like Captain Marvel? Oh my God, he's so far gone. And it's like, what are you talking? Like, some people don't like some movies. Like, what is it? What are you, nuts? Yes, people are all nuts. Everyone's crazy. It's insane. I think she's snooty. I think she's uptight. I think she's arrogant and egotistical, and I hate her politics. I'm sure if I met her in person, it would be fine. Maybe she got into a fight with these guys. Maybe she's just not really good at what she does, and she didn't know how to play off their energy. They maybe don't know each other. I just think it's silly to dig so deep into this, because look, when Brie Larson stands up and says some stupid intersectional nonsense, yes, criticize it. When she makes a dumb joke and gets made fun of, I'm kind of just like, yeah, I don't know, whatever, happens all day, every day. When Jeremy Renner gives an opinion, everyone's like, aha, and no. Whatever, man. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. I got more videos coming up in a few minutes. I will see you shortly.